We beat Sonic. We beat Tails. We beat Knuckles. We beat Amy. We ignored Big. we killed off Gamma. And now, it's time
Question mark man!
for the end. I'm Mr. Game & Pie, everybody. And this
I'm
is
Austin
Let's
on
Play
Sugar.
Sonic Adventure Part 17. With my faithful co-commentator, Austin on Sugar, by my side to explain everything that I might not know or understand.
Because I'm a massive nerd like that.
Though he doesn't have to explain too terribly much, because I have beaten this game several times before.
That's not a Chaos Emerald.
Regardless, it's time for cutscenes, everybody.
So many cutscenes.
All the cutscenes.
To be fair, what I find really interesting about this final story is that it's not meant to be... Actually, this is something that kind of carries over for the next couple games, is that the ending to the game is literally just a quick little wrap-up of everything. Everything comes together, all the pieces fit. I'm not sure if modern Sonic games really do this so much. I guess that's also because you only play as one character, so they couldn't really do this, but... I enjoyed games back then for stuff like this, where you play as a bunch of different characters and then they all come to a head. And this is the head. Or rather, the blob of water.
Yes.
But,
Chaos!
Robotnik is angry.
or surprised. Or scared. We don't really... I don't know. I love Dean Bristow's delivery on that line, though. Chaos!
Confirmed for God of War 18.
Ares! Chaos! I want to see that now. Vengeance.
He is the God of Destruction, after all.
Maybe.
You know, this is true. Yes. The God of Destruction is against the God of War.
And he does have extendo arms.
Ooh.
Have something to do with what's
Chaos with
happening.
extend arms, and
I'll take
Kratos
this
with
Sonic for his
his
advice.
chains of chaininess, and then Chaos keeps evolving as the boss fight goes on, until you're literally fighting perfect Chaos,
Eggman.
which is something that's not too far off from a God of War game anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, that's yes!
And then Bayonetta appears out of nowhere.
Suddenly, best game ever!
And then Kirby flies down and just kills everybody.
Suddenly, most terrifying game ever.
And then Kirby rampages across the planet, destroying everybody because somebody stole his cake, darn it. And he's not having that today.
Or any day.
Ares, did you steal my cake? You think I would
Ares.
do such a thing? Yeah, I think you would. Now you're gonna die.
Random question. What is that line referencing when Sonic says maybe I'll take another vacation somewhere?
Never mind that.
The tails are just sliding across the ground.
Skin.
But anyway, Sonic started out by taking a vacation to Station Square.
Oh, that's right.
That's literally the beginning of Austin. How do you not know this?
No, I mean, like it doesn't really occur to me because every character starts in Station Square. But you're right; they don't ever live in. The only one who lives in Station Square is Amy.
I'm running across the wall all of a sudden.
Oh, I was hoping you would run on the ceiling there. You can actually get Sonic kind of stuck running on the ceiling. It's quite fun.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm not fun, so I'm not doing that.
Blasphemy.
Oh my gosh, we actually came at the cutscene from the correct direction this time.
Oh my.
Sorry.
Knuckles and Eggman, what happened here?
He stole my Chaos Emeralds. And Chaos is still alive.
What?
Wow. Chaos, the thing that you're not supposed to kill because it's a god, is still alive. I'm so surprised by that.
Hey, Eggman,
I would love it
wait
if they
up.
did actually pull a God of War with this, where like you end up killing Chaos, and then suddenly Chaos itself is spread across the world. It's like, well, shoot,
If he gets
we
that
screwed
last
up.
Chaos Emerald, we're done for.
No need to explain. We'll get on it.
And then
Tails?
Discord appears out of nowhere and it's like, Chaos?
Looks like
Oh,
we're in
jeez.
for a big old storm of chaos.
And then the Cubivore appears out of nowhere.
Cubivore and T-Rex go on a rampage together.
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
familiar.
And he's like, you know, he's eating all the forms of order. Because order is evil in that game.
Ah.
All the colorless beasts bringing wilderness to the land.
Now, Knuckles had 3 different scenes in the past. Sonic has one scene here, but it's a 3-parter, if you will.
It's power for the people. And they are your people too, you know. We must get that emerald.
I feel like this is like an anti-communist statement.
Once it starts, you will always want
Also, the
more.
Chaz eyes are really creepy in this version of the
Please
game.
don't do this. I
Now,
beg you.
now, like we were saying, in these scenes, Tikal is the player character, so this is from her point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said earlier, it'd be kind of interesting to see what this scene looks like from the tribal leader's point of view, or Chaos'
love-
point of view.
This is why I always wanted a Chaos story, because of all the characters in the game, he'd probably be the one who would see everything the straightest. Either that or blinded by some sort of like color-coded rage type thing.
Yeah, he'd probably do the rage thing.
Speaking of rage,
Yeah, look at that. Chaos symbols are floating around. Isn't that cool? That usually means something good in these games.
oh, of course.
You know,
Sonic
like,
and Shadow do that very suggestive transformation sequence. Yes.
that took
Oh,
way
no.
too long.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, the Guardian was Chaos all along. I never saw that coming.
Except we did an Amy's story, but whatever.
I didn't even turn the camera for that.
Hey, are you all right?
I love the fact that like that weird pause there. I'm not sure what was happening. They loaded up the cutscene that didn't happen, and then anyway.
No, no, no.
Quite interesting to note, in the DX version of this game, this bit just is red everywhere. In the Dreamcast version, the floor was literally pulsating, like with redness and stuff. So like this entire was like glowing and throbbing, kind of. It was quite interesting.
Wow.
Again, graphical limitations and whatnot, but actually ended up looking pretty cool. Kind of like how in Iron Gate in SA2, it's pure red rather than just being a strobe light,
Yeah.
or not a strobe light. I'm sorry, like a spotlight that occasionally turns everything a bit pinker.
And then
I'm a big
Tikal
fan
saves
of
the
this.
day.
Sonic,
Da,
wake
da,
up.
I was on a snooze cruise, I guess.
da. Good cover there, Sonic.
Good thing you're okay. You just sort of conked out there. Knuckles left already. Come!
So yeah, Sonic was
gotta
out
go
for a
after
while.
The last emerald.
Crazy that
lead
Tikal
the way.
didn't make him,
Should
you know,
still be
find the
a
Chaos
tornado
Emerald
too.
while he was
Yeah,
asleep.
It's like you'd think that Tikal kind of, I don't know, sucks at planning or something. She does this a lot. Shortcut.
Yeah, effectively, because it brings us back over here.
Very shortcut. Welcome to speedrun.
For Station Square.
Welcome to, you know, Sonic Adventure Reverses time.
So you ready to get lost in the forest, Thomas?
We're not gonna do that. Because the
You're a
cutscene
master at
starts
this.
immediately.
In fact, you're just gonna teleport there.
It's the tornado too.
Yeah, so let's get the Chaos Emerald and leave.
That's still not the emerald. That's a different bottle.
It's the Emerald, Austin. You need to accept this into your heart.
I
No,
like the design
he's
of.
got the
I actually
last
kind of wish
emerald.
the Chaos Emeralds looked like that more often.
Now what do we do?
What if it's just like all the Chaos Emeralds had different designs?
That would be cool. Wasn't that what the Fleetway comics did?
I don't know.
They also all had their own special powers in that version, such that I believe you could breathe underwater with the blue one, be impervious to heat with the red one, that kind of thing.
I know that Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog did something like that with their Chaos Emeralds.
That arc was probably one of my favorites in the show. It was
You know,
so dumb.
I
It was so
never
beautiful.
actually got to see that arc because
Really?
I saw it on YouTube. Like I saw that the video was there, but every time that I tried to play it, it would get about a minute in and it would just completely freeze up, wouldn't play.
That's quite interesting because the version I saw had a terrible desyncing problem, but with some handy editing and the use of keepvid.com, shameless plug, I ended up actually fixing up the episode and watching through all the. It's a 4-parter, and it's actually quite good, like interesting good, not just like quality good because it's not really that quality good anyway. It's Adventures of the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
But no, it's quite interesting. I very much enjoy the Supreme High Robotnik.
But yeah, that's still an episode that I need to watch.
Instead of 4 episodes, but go on.
Well, overall it's one story.
Here we go. Here's the thing.
It's the thing.
Oh, this is the most beautiful image ever.
It's the
Right
thing of the Fantastic Four.
there. Amazing.
The Fantastic Four could be perfect chaos.
We should test that theory.
Reed Richards would be like, hey guys, I
Oh,
just
it
invented a
looks terrible
thing.
now.
Like, you know, Mr.
Such a
Fantastic, he would be like, oh man, guys, I just invented a thing, it takes all the chaos energy out of him, he's gonna be completely screwed over. And then that's exactly what happens. And then the thing comes in and like punches Chaos Zero and he dies. The end.
So
Johnny
here's an
Storm doesn't do
interesting-
anything.
He stands there and pretends to be awesome.
Yeah.
You have defied your master.
Now here's an interesting thing about Chaos's design. I might have mentioned this really early on, but every Chaos design ends up getting a thicker and thicker skeletal structure as we go along.
Yes.
Until we get to this one, which has absolutely no bones whatsoever inside of its body thing.
In fact, it doesn't even have any Chaos Emeralds, it throws them away.
Yeah, so, like, Perfect Chaos here is completely devoid of any kind of armor or the emeralds which we've seen floating inside of him in past iterations. It's really quite interesting that they went out of their way kind of to deny this Chaos those design points. One thing that's quite interesting is that Chaos is a water monster because only the Dreamcast can handle water. At the time, they were hoping that'd be the case anyway. Which is actually, to this day, I still think Chaos looks at least cool, if not really, really dated. But Chaos was also supposed to originally have armor plating on his back. So the design that they used for Sonic Generations is actually the design that they originally wanted to go with,
Yes.
rather than this Elvis lip quiver thing.
Oh, I always thought that was him sniffing.
Oh, so did I, but that's still a really, really stupid looking design. It's like, what? He smells, he calls someone nearby. I'm gonna throw the emeralds away.
I don't need these things, they're just stupid.
Also, why does he open his mouth every couple of sniffs? His animation is to sniff, 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 sniff.
Well, he needs to breathe.
How can that help?
I mean, what is he sniffing then?
His heart will still remain.
You don't want to know what
Boston,
he's
you can't-
sniffing.
You.
He'll just be trapped forever.
I was gonna say you don't want to question the physics of a water serpent, but I like that better.
You don't want to know, man. Oh yeah,
This is
and
really
then
nice.
Big appeared out of nowhere.
Oh yeah. Big has totally been like creeping out in the background here, and that's Gamma's bird following Amy, which means that all 6 characters are present for the final story.
Yes.
It's actually really quite sweet to know
Hey
that
guys,
the pink
what's
bird
up?
is following Amy, even if it's just a cheap
Chaos
little
only used
color
the
palette
negative
swap
power
thing.
of the
The
emeralds.
thing is that, like, Tails and Knuckles, they fell out of the sky a moment ago, and then they fell out of the sky a second time.
As much as I hate to
The
admit
reason
it,
why they do that,
I
and
think Tails
I know
is
you
right
brought it up
about
with Gamma
this.
too, but every character, when they spawn in a cutscene in this game, all they're really doing is they're placing the characters as NPCs in these locations, and physics is doing the rest by plopping them down onto the road, which is why you hear them landing every single time there's a scene change or model reloading. Interestingly enough, Gamma has absolutely no sound effects when he's an NPC. There is no sound effect for him jumping, walking, nothing. Almost like they went out of the way to give him a separate model specifically for cutscenes.
Interesting.
Which would also make sense because this is also the model that can fall over. Anyway, by the way, Supersonic, yay! So, Green Eyes argument. As far as Supersonic goes, Supersonic had green eyes in Sonic 3. He has red eyes here. Ruined forever.
Okay.
No one ever notices the green eyes in Sonic 3.
Nobody cares, Austin.
No,
Alright, but anyway, this is Perfect Chaos. You gotta run fast. That's it.
and that's about it.
Yeah.
Not exactly the most interesting thing ever created for a final boss, but for our first outing in 3D, this is a pretty satisfying conclusion to the game.
Sonic can't spin dash.
Yeah, Supersonic can't do anything except roar and fly.
I mean,
That's about it.
you know, it's like, you know, all those upgrades that we got during the game, they don't do anything anymore. Sonic
Well,
isn't gonna
you're
be
not
light speed attacking this guy.
You're not playing as Sonic, you're playing as Supersonic. Haven't you played Sonic Shuffle? They're obviously 2 different people.
Right. Just like they are in Sonic R.
Yeah. Wait, is it possible to play as Sonic and have someone else play as Super?
Not sure. I know that it is possible for 2 players to play as the same character with a certain code. Not
So,
sure if that counts for Sonic and Super Sonic being separate, though.
I want to see that now. That'd be kind of cool. So, did we beat him?
Nope.
Is it over? No.
Perfect Chaos
It's
is using
not
the
over.
trope. Theme music power up.
The trouble is that this epic, like, Ono Danger Zone theme thing is epic and all, but there's something so much more satisfying, and they do this with every other final boss in Sonic Adventure style history, anyway, where they play the epic sad music first, and then the really victorious main theme of the game afterwards.
Yes.
I guess that it wasn't a precedent set at this point, so they composed this second theme to be something far more menacing than they probably would have otherwise.
And I mean, like, Perfect Chaos here, he is a little bit tougher than he was previously. He shoots more
The
stuff
only-
at you.
His homing shots. That looks like a homing shot. Careful, Thomas.
Oh boy, it hit me, so now I have to go back to the dash pad over here.
Did you know that homing attacking actually slows you down? Just jump a couple times and you can actually get your speed back up again. Just food for thought. Anyway,
Alright.
In fact, you'll notice that most speedrunners of this tend to actually, or not just speedrunners, anyone who like has wasted their time with this game like I have, will constantly jump after hitting the first dash pad to
Okay.
keep their speed up. Not that you're gonna, but
No, I don't. Because
those tornadoes, it's also possible to ride those tornadoes up and sock Perfect Chaos in the jaw, and that actually does count as a hit,
Oh, cool.
which is quite interesting.
So long as you hit the brain.
Hey, I'll
Yes.
play with you some other time.
Question: when when Sonic went Super, did you ever imagine him having a different voice?
No.
No? So the fact that he says, hey, I'll play with you some other time in the exact same voice as before doesn't bother you at all?
Nope.
Perfectly fine.
Also, I believe that this scenery right here was actually used in Sonic Generations.
Oh, you mean like the explicit exact scenery?
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised.
This is the road from the first 2D section of the game. Of the battle.
Yes! I mean, it was obviously redone with higher fidelity and narrower roads, but yes, in this overpass here, I believe is pretty much what the
Chaos
camera
has
situated,
changed
right?
again.
Yep.
This time for the better.
Yeah. Super Sonic
So that's
must have
kind of a cool
neutralized
reference
it.
that Sonic
So
Generation
it's
has.
off again.
Among the many others that, this is basically the
Use it,
equivalent of
child,
Professor
you will
Pickle's
protect
workshop
him.
being right by where Classic Sonic starts his Spagonia.
Yes. Oh, and Tikal appears.
They stayed alive
Again.
for generations
course.
and
Now
never
let's talk about how
became
Tikal had no
humans.
idea what to do.
Well, she suggests to Sonic earlier, it's like we should, seal him in the Master Emerald so that his anger and hate and whatever will be bottled up forever. And that's still, like, I don't know, she shows up now to be all, like, ever-knowing and everything, but
Thank you
Sonic knew
so
what to do when
much.
she didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how to feel about her being our wise, all-knowing character when, 6 times now she could have had the power to hypnotically influence the entire plot of the story and didn't. Meanwhile here, we finally get her, like, doing something constructive, I guess, but she honestly was very confused. I don't know. It's interesting that because our wise character, our sage character, literally our Navi, was actually wrong.
Yeah.
It's quite the interesting concept. Also, here we go. One of my favorite lines in Sonic history.
Big is there for no reason.
All's well that
He's
ends
just
well,
like-
right?
The city's been
Sonic?
destroyed entirely. All's well that ends well. Millions are dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Goodbye, Sonic.
Oh, speaking of millions, when people are chanting out that Sonic, Sonic
Mm-hmm.
earlier, as a child, I always heard that as them shouting Sonic, Sonic, but they're not. It's from, I believe, the launch trailer for not the launch trailer, but the first teaser trailer for Sonic Adventure that they released at a convention in Japan, and the entire audience is sitting there shouting Sonic's name.
Ah, interesting.
Anyway, with that out of the way, would you like to talk about your thoughts on this game overall, Tom?
Sonic Adventure was an important series, well, an important entry in the Sonic series. It's overall a very good game, though it certainly has its big bad moments.
The emphasis on big.
Yes. All in all, it set up a lot of aspects that would appear in future Sonic games, and I think it did a good job doing that. While it certainly isn't my favorite Sonic game, it's actually pretty far away from that, I'd still say it's a solid title. I did play Sonic Adventure 2 before playing this game, and so overall I do prefer most of the aspects of that game more than this one, Knuckles excluded, of course. And, Gamma is cool. I like Gamma. Austin, you have so much more to say about this game, you better get started before the episode ends.
Okay, this is the first game I ever played all the way through. When I was younger, I played Tetris, I played Mario 64 as a rental, but this is the first game I owned. This is the first game I beat. There are so many memories and nostalgia goggles tied to this game for me that honestly trying to come up with a constructive opinion on this is pretty much folly at this point. However, I can definitely say that, looking at it from a game to get people into Sonic, which is exactly what it was doing. It was supposed to revive the series after a 3 or 4 year slump that the series had been going through at the time. This does an amazing job fulfilling that exact purpose. This got me into Sonic. I'm now a Sonic fan because of this game. And, I mean, yeah. Basically, if the classic games didn't rope you in, or if you were too young to be able to get into those, this is the game, or Sonic Adventure 2 for those of us who didn't own Dreamcast back in the day. This was the game, though, that basically revived Sonic as we know him. It's really quite interesting, too, because overall, I don't know, I get a big kick out of everything in this game. Even Big I can have my fun with. It's probably the most freedom-feeling Sonic game to date, although Sonic Boom looks like it very well might, at least in some respects, trounce this, maybe?
Perhaps.
But, I mean, I'm keeping myself hopeful. It looks like Adventure 3, and therefore I'm quite looking forward to it. But as a whole, this is probably the most freedom we've ever been given in a Sonic game. The 6 different characters means that you can play pretty much whatever style they've customized for you. And regardless of the version of this game you get, be it the easy-to-download XBLA, be it the GameCube version, or if you want to dust off a Dreamcast that... Wait, if you own a Dreamcast, how do you not own this game? Anyway...
I'd like to note, Austin, there are only 5 different characters to play as.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. Well, no, Supersonic.
Oh yeah, right. He's kind of a character.
So, I mean, overall, yeah, it's a flawed game, and I'm gonna be I won't be the first, actually, but I'll be willing to admit that this game is by no means perfect. It's painfully dated. But there are so many things that this game did right that I'll be totally honest, I don't think any Sonic game has come close to doing numerically, or, quantitatively, this many things right in one go. There are plenty of games that have done a lot better in certain aspects. Adventure 2 did much better with the story, Heroes did much better with the environments, Unleashed did so much better with the story, the environments, and a couple other things. But this game is really the one that, it feels the most complete of a package to me.
It's the Mario of the Sonic games.
And even, exactly, and sure, why not? And even more interestingly, and I find this actually quite interesting, when people often do the whole Sonic Adventure 3 begging that they tend to do, they basically say, let it continue the story from Adventure 2, but keep all the mechanics from Adventure 1, just refine them. And I think that's really what stands out, is that even 06...
By the way, Austin, you can keep going. I'm just going to do Tails missions while you keep talking.
Oh, sure, by all means. You aren't going to get Amy's hammer?
Nah.
Okay. But, okay, I'll try not to wrap it up too quickly then. When people are often crying for, oh, we need an Adventure 3, we need an Adventure 3, most of the time I hear, finish SA2's story that never really wrapped up. You know, Heroes and Shadow took it in weird directions. 06 forgot everything that happened before it. So, you know, when people say we want to see a story of the scale of Adventure 2, that's perfectly fine. But oftentimes they say, but we want to see all these characters have their own individual stories. And I honestly would love to see a game where you play as 7 or 8 different characters that all control differently, but still have that Sonic-y goodness. I hear one of the big complaints about this game is that Amy and Gamma, and if there was a 7th character in the game, would all control nothing like Sonic. And this is, you know, in a Sonic game, that's kind of a downer. You know, you'd want to just play a new IP. You know, go out and get Sega Bass Fishing if you really want to play a fishing minigame, for example.
Yeah. Not like there's anything like that in this game.
Oh, of course not, of course not. Go out and buy a Mario game if you really want to play a game about a jumping character who can't roll into a ball, who carries around a giant hammer. I mean, yeah, that's true, and I'm not going to deny that, and I'd actually, frankly, like to very much see something else. You know, closer to Sonic's story. I don't know, we've heard all the stories of the managing between, oh, well, we'll have, like, the characters control about as differently as Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles do in S3 and K, but we'll also have just as many characters as Adventure. And I think that's something like that would be a really nice balance, a really creative use of combining everything together. I'm rambling at this point, I'm sorry. But, you know, that's what an Adventure 3 really would be Adventure 1, but better and done again. And, yeah, Adventure 2 is great for its own rights. You didn't collect 50 rings, by the way.
Oh, I didn't?
Nope, you only got 48.
Oh, well.
Anyway, do it again, do it again.
I made it in time.
There is a lot that this game does right. There is a lot that's dated. Really, this is more or less a learning experience for Sonic as a whole. And it's probably the game that I would most heartily recommend to anyone who either A, hasn't gotten into the series yet, or B, is looking for kind of like the father of 3D Sonic titles, because that's exactly what this is.
Now, Austin, I have a little story that I want to share.
Do it, please.
Alright, so, you see, I grew up with Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but I wasn't supposed to. At least not what my age would depict, because I was 4 whenever I got my Sega Genesis, and as a result got Sonic 1, 2, and 3. However, I got my Sega Genesis because somebody wasn't going to be using theirs anymore because the Dreamcast was just about to come out.
See you later, Tails.
So basically, this person just gave me their their Sega Genesis because they were going to get the Dreamcast, and with it, Sonic Adventure. With how old I am, I should have had this game as my first Sonic game, and been playing it since I was 4.5, like you were.
Mm-hmm. And 4.5 is the direct age, for the record.
Yes. So, really, technically I should have played this Sonic game, and I should have the childhood that you're talking about. But I don't, because my parents lived in an apartment at the time, and we had, like, no money. So...
But you did have a Genesis, and therefore you played the best Sonic game.
Yes, the best. Or at least half of the best one. I didn't get Sonic and Knuckles until a couple years later.
Oh, well, at least you got it eventually.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's my story that I've got to tell before we end the series.
And really, we can end it whenever you want. You guys watching, we're just gonna ramble.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. Well, I play as the best character in the game.
Oh, perfectly fine. I don't mind at all. More footage of this game is more of my childhood being like, suck right into my soul. Yes.
And more of the childhood that I should have had.
Yes. Are you jealous, Thomas?
Not really.
Okay. Well, you got S3 and K.
Yeah.
I didn't play that until I got Mega Collection.
Oh.
But
You sad soul.
I'm just running through what we should probably cover. If you want to hear me from like 3 years ago now, you can go to my channel and check out my Let's Break of this game, which is an intentional mispronunciation of Let's Play, such that we break the game and don't actually get the light dash, because I feel like being maverick about such things.
Because, yeah, like, you know, like I said earlier in this Let's Play, Austin, this is the reason why I met you, why I started talking to you. Because I knew that I was going to be doing a lot of the Sonic series. And I saw that Austin here made a lot of very extensive, informative comments on my Pac-Man World videos. Pac-Man World 3, specifically. And
Which is how I found Thomas.
Yes.
So, match made in heaven. Sorry, go on.
And basically, I said, alright, well, this guy looks somewhat intelligent at least. Let's see if he has any cool videos. And so I saw your Let's Break of Sonic Adventure. It's like, oh, hey, this guy knows what he's doing in this game. I don't necessarily know what I'm doing in this game. I better get him on this game so that I have somebody who knows what he's doing. And
So this is the whole reason we've done anything together ever.
pretty much. I mean, this is the starting point of everything, and I'm glad that I met you, Austin, because you're a cool dude.
The feeling is mutual, sir, of the pies.
With that said,
Now let's have this group hug thingy and all that.
I think that this is a good place to end the series.
Before we do, though, random question.
Yeah?
What are we gonna do about SA2?
Well, with that said, we've already made the verses of Sonic Adventure 2. It's funny. I've said everything that I want to say about Sonic Adventure 2 in that verses. I've got a playlist of it. It's cool. You should watch it. And I'm not going to be doing a Let's Play of it.
So that's that then. Okay.
Yeah. With that said, the
We
next
can
Sonic
understand.
game might be Sonic Heroes. It
was
might
hoping
be
you'd say
Sonic
Sonic
Advance
Shuffle.
3. I don't know yet.
We'll find out.
We will find out. But until then, I've been Mr. Game & Pie.
I've been Austin on Sugar.
And y'all stay sufficiently awesome, everybody.
Indeed.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.